have to do that. So it's not 100%, but to some extent.
Thank you.
Other comments?
It's important that we share our experience. I can remember 2 months ago, there was a program, educational program, FSA Foundational, Foundational Skill Activity. And that was focused on primary education, grade age enrollment. So we did what we call school mapping. It interests you that some of our questionnaires were to dig into gender issue. And some principals and school administrators, including teachers as well, will tell you, well, we're hearing about it, but we don't even understand what really gender in education really means. Some will be born. And even when you discussing gender issues in our country, only a few people will understand gender has to do with both men and female. Or majority will say it has to do with focus on the females. Seriously. So, as an educator, coming across some of these discussions in our school communities, the issue of gender actually is around. It may be on the book, on the docket, but people who are implementers are not really aware what gender really is. So, and as such, the issue of gender sensitivity in school is not really being practical, in my own observation. Let me read it.
Yes.
So we need education.
Thank you.
So I want to agree with my just hope that most of the people, most of our teachers are not aware of this whole gender issues. Because what we see in this country, whenever they talk about gender-based violence and all those gender responses, they think that they are just talking about girls, like women. They want to empower women, they want to see how they're to uplift women and leave in the boys. And I think that's where the issue is. Because if you continue to leave those men back, we'll continue to see them in the street. And at the end of the day, you will have girls now who will want to become mothers and they cannot find a better man. So I think this whole gender issue, we should treat it equally. I have an experience. When I left high school, my brother, we graduated together, but I had more opportunity as a woman. And here as a man, we're talking about gender issue, empowering women and not empowering men. So he didn't have opportunity, and he's not where I am now. So we need to see how best we can work and train teachers or school and society in not just empowering women, but also equally empowering men. And the next issue I want to speak to is this whole thing that has to do with the textbooks. Just as we talked last week during the editorial session, we have books that are being used by our students where we have pictures of policemen instead of police officers. That's a complete stereotype to say, okay, it's only men that can be police. Women cannot be a police. So instead of saying policemen in our workbooks that we are producing for our students, we should say police officer. And then instead of making all of the pictures in the workbook, in the STEM education, the doctors, the engineers, instead of making them only male, we should include pictures of females in those positions so that people can also believe, or the students at that level can start to understand that yes, indeed, I am princess and I can also be a medical doctor. It's not just about John, it's not just about Peter or Flo. I'm princess too because I've seen a woman in that picture. So we as authors that are writing children's books, we should consider that. And those of us who also want the TTIs, we should go back to our schools. I know we are teaching professional ethics, and in professional ethics, the daily curriculum will also teach them those general issues that they should be doing. However, we need to emphasize more on this gender-responsive pedagogy for our teachers, because most librarian teachers that we interact with, we see that they are in the basis of saying, this thing should be men. I mean, soccer, only men can play soccer. Only women should be the one to do all the housework. And then the men can sit and just read books, like all those things, because we were taught that way down the line. Now that we have this whole gender responsibility thing, I think we need to also teach in our TTIs so that those teachers can go back to the classroom and make an impact. Thank you.
Observation.
Yeah, after you, another observation.
Thank you. Hello, neighbor. All right, thank you. And I want to start from where you stopped. Some of the issues we have with gender, it has to do with tradition. So there's a need for us to unveil our traditional practices and also teach on gender issues. Because take for example, if a ball there's a sport that we play in Liberia is specifically assigned to females, it's called kickball. If a ball went out there to play kickball, they will automatically say, try to be a woman. Yeah. And even at times the girls themselves will tell the boys that this is the girls' game. Yeah. The girls themselves will say that. They will say this is the girls' game. And a boy should not be here. So we need to disabuse those minds and try to understand the way in which we have lay out or structure our culture, how it's affecting our participation, our engagement, and all that. But coming to the conversation.
Neighbor, let's stick with us here, please.
One of what we are saying and the questions that have been asked, honestly speaking, I think it's just an issue of implementation and awareness. Well, both of these things are enshrined in the curriculum. The Ministry of Education has played that. As a matter of fact, the Ministry of Education always, in her roundtable discussion, brings on board the guide for gender ministry and all of that, inclusive education, and these things are brought. It's just a matter of implementing them and ensuring that what is on the book is the thing that we are teaching in the classroom and it's the life that we are living. But documents are there, policies are there. As a matter of fact, in the education sector plan, there is what we call the Gender Attained National Policy 2022-2026. Yeah, national policy on that. It captures, like the director was saying this morning, sometimes we need to do research, and sometimes the research materials need to be made available, for public consumption on how we can implement this thing. Even the NCHE curriculum that we were working with on the usage test project, all that stuff like that, exclusive conversation on gender issues, all of these documents and policies are there. Maybe we can update them as time progresses because of time or changes, but the awareness and implementation is are two things that we can work on.
Yeah, just to buttress before the director takes the mic. Just to buttress what my brother said. The home is a first school for the child. Okay, the home, the parents start teaching the child before he or she goes to school. And I stand to be corrected, but most of the homes, the parents, cut out differences between boys. They assign the roles and responsibilities. They assign the roles and responsibilities to boys and girls at home.
Yeah.
And they will not allow the boy to do what the girl is supposed to do, neither the girl does what the boy is supposed to do. You see, so that's where the awareness, really have to go, because if they are coming to school and the school is telling them something different from what the parents are telling them, they will put them in the state of dilemma. So that's why I want to
And that's why I think it is important, when we talk about gender issue, it is important to be contextual about what actually gender means in our setting. Like we said, there are roles and responsibilities that are ascribed by society. Gender roles and responsibility. With the example Edisheku gave, how many times a boy and a girl is growing up and the yard should be brushed? They say the girl should go and brush the yard. Why is it true that we want to encourage boys and girls to do almost the same professional work? Let us be real and be realistic as to what a male can do efficiently and what a female can also do. And that's why we need to screen line into the Liberian context and no other context. They can bring the big book, what Liberia have actually incorporated in their culture that are visible, like the AD said, from the home. Precious, you got 2 children at the end of the day. It is not our star. If it is the Western star, it is not our star, the African star, to say the boys, sometimes yes, you can wash dishes, but dishes and cooking and those horse choices are for the girl child. More often, she will be there cooking, she will go in the market. We are not saying boys cannot cook, but we are saying the boys will also be meant to draw the water to make sure that, and from the home, when we start with these roles, for me, I get confused because when MTA call for drivers for heavy duty, I'm thinking how many women will want to apply to even be a driver for forklift or whatsoever. And I understand. We should also note that the physical morphology and structure that men and women are built with, it also plays into some of these things. And I'm not saying there are not professions that cannot cut across. Let me just direct my attention small to.
I don't want to many more.
Yes, please, Anna will do. Let me just direct my attention small to the marginalization of the male. And I like this section because gender, when we say in Liberia, everything is focused on female and the gay child. And I think there is a rationale for that. For me, I don't believe that much. Because over the time, women were marginalized. We felt that women should be in the bar. Women, should not come to actually compete. But now, it is actually affecting the system. AUWA. Let me be very practical. AUWA. I was there to recruit for the test project. I will count 8 females before I see 1 male. If I look for female. That AUWA people say, so I'm not making a story. AUWA, when you go to Advantage University, the population of females that enroll, you will look for male. So I'm saying this to say that we need to also, while it's true that we have made significant efforts and there are stats, as I get under the mark, there are stats to show that in the primary setting, the level of females that we have at the primary school system or senior secondary school is actually low. But when you go to the ECD, it is also high. And like Derek said, because society also think, and it's not that society think, but sometimes it's also the fact, women and men, they will marry to take care of the children. the woman is more professional to take care of the children. I know you and I agree.
Yes,
But
I
I'm saying, I want to speak fast to the matter. And in Liberia, that's what I'm saying, in Africa, when you allow, and that's why sometimes when we have teacher training, instead you condense one, and we have 40 days, the man will be asking his wife, who are you leaving the children with to the training that you are going to?
Just before,
And there are many more issues. I'll tell you.
just before Anna I think this conversation is passing up. But let me take a step away a little. One of the issues, or one of the reasons why women participation, is highly encouraged and recommended. Take for example, in Liberia, of the total number of teachers we have, only 90% of that number is a female. Now, the same thing in Sierra Leone. The same thing in other countries. So even in the
information, that stat should also be to the nursing fee. How many of the percentage of male that we have? Come on.
No, but they are not stopping males from.
No, I'm not saying they are stopping males. I'm just saying. Okay,
let me conclude my conversation. Now, in this position, I want to speak in my capacity as president of the Principal Association. One of the issues that we are stressing. One of the issues that we are stressed on, even when it comes to school leadership, I was very much excited when I entered this hall and when you were moderating the opening section. I was very much excited when I listened to the director for KRTIA as a female. I'm yet to move beyond that excitement. If we went down to Webo, if we went to say RTIA, if we went where else? Now, so Webo, KRTIA, ZRTIA, right? Now we don't have one female.
We have New we have Ethics, we have, you want me to call the name?
Correct.
Out of the 26, there are multiples in
yeah, but this is why we are saying, society is not grappling with the reality. Now, I do agree with you. Emphasis should not be about, we are only here to talk about dress. Because the word gender is not apportioned to a particular sex. When you say gender, the first velocity, that's why you say sex, is it male or female. But when we say gender, that speaks to roles, responsibilities, assigned to both sexes. So in this case, the emphasis or the focus is that while we are advocating, there are cases or opportunities where men are already advancing. So what can we do to bring the women along? Now, you were talking about taking care of children. It is our understanding that is not just the role of a female. Let's say for me, I have a 4-year-old son. My son is more close to me than even his mother because of the role I play. I gave him a bath. I put a paper on him. I take him to the hospital myself. I feed him. I put him to bed, and we work together. So I don't see it like this is the responsibility of my wife. So if my wife doesn't do it, my son will read it. No. It is just our understanding that we need to disabuse our man. Thank you.
I just want to make this point. That's why every or almost, let me find an escape route. Almost every, I want to call it organization. organization, UN, or whatsoever job that a male and a female apply for, the female can be less qualified to a male. And society think that a way of bringing a female up is to also make sure that sometimes they are rewarded. I'm not saying in most cases.
Yeah, on the basis of
I'm
merit.
saying-
On the basis of merit.
No, I'm not saying even on the basis of merit. I'm saying if you say, oh no, application say female are highly encouraged to apply, it means automatically you are saying there's a favoritism. And for me, if I'm applying for any job, I don't waste my time to apply for that job when I see female are highly encouraged to apply. It means that if you have, I gave you the example as I end. I went to Action Aid, and the people who were in the room are female. We left on one stage, we came to the second stage, and we're 6, 2 male, 4 female. And we came to the next stage, I saw myself with 3 female, and then the next stage. In fact, they were saying we should go to the next stage. I told them, I said, I'm not interested. Because for the fact that I'm with 3 female, I'm wasting my time. And
But
that's it.
at the level of the commission, what we do from the inspection that we have conducted, we are now proposing to put institution that the top management position of all of the higher education institutions, there should be at least 2 slots for women.
Even if they are not qualified.
No, there are criteria. You know, for the qualified ones. In fact, like Derek was saying, we also launched the DEI policy, the diversity and inclusion policy. It also highlights giving women more preference than the male. So, the whole gender thing here.
But even the legislature, they are pushing 30% female.
At the end of the day, then the female think that they are now superior. Or male is meant to make sure that you take care of this home. The males that we are seeing riding bikes and whatsoever, it is our role to come back and involve them to conversate.
I will speak now. I have already calmed down. Okay? Okay, first of all, I think, Finland is a very well-being country. We had a war against Russia, and then when men were in the war, women took care of the society otherwise. Everything. And we were the first countries in the world to have the equal comprehensive school for all. For both. And both. Yeah, for both, men and women. And I think that one part of our country's success is that we are not wasting half of our adult population, so that they're out of.
That they are taking care of babies and hoovering.
Yes, that they are used in working also. And I'm not saying that taking care of the kids wouldn't be good enough. It is. It is a very important task. But I think that educating both women and men is very important for the success of the country. Otherwise, it's a waste of intelligence. And then, I admit, there are, of course, we have physical differences. We can make generalizations. Even though I think I am physically more fit and stronger than most men in Finland at my age. Okay? And that is only a truth. And then, about taking care, because of practice. I don't have the advantage of testosterone in me, but I have the advantage of being exercising. Okay? But then about the tasks at home. There are differences. Men cannot give a birth to a baby, cannot breastfeed. But when my husband was 16, his dad got ill and he had to go to the hospital for the rest of his life. And my brother, my husband has 8 younger siblings. And he was the oldest one at home and has learned to take care of kids. So when we got children, he was 100 times more experienced taking care of babies and children than I was.
Because that's also because of
And
practice.
I think, even though he cannot breastfeed, he has to have the opportunity to build as close relationship with the child that mothers do. I think it's the dad's possibility. They have to be offered a possibility. The right, yes. The right, dads have the right to have a close relationship with the children when they're young, and it comes from spending time with them. Not only bringing the money and asking them to do things. So that is what is built on. And then, well, okay, if child grows in a home where there is physical violence, drug abuse, alcohol problems, we want to, at school, show them that there is another way of living. We want to teach them to question, is this the only way I could live my adulthood? Using drugs or hitting my wife or husband? Is that the way? No. We want them to learn to question whether this is right or not. And the same as in the gender issues. I know it is in the society and we don't have to fight against biology. But if I have a child who is more interested in cooking than, I have only sons. If they are more interested to come have a restaurant and be cooking than studying to be a police officer, then I encourage them to do so. I know that in general it's fine if it is so that usually boys are more interested in some sports or some professions and girls in others, as well as we are providing for both the opportunity to choose something another. And in Finland, we know we are talking about, is it only empowering women, but in general in the world, girls have more challenges than boys. But in Finland, we have, when we apply to a job, nowadays it is moving to that we apply anonymously. That you cannot, from the application, tell whether it is a male or a female.
Or African name or Finnish name or
or the
name.
cultural background. That you cannot make your first decision based on name, sex, cultural background. Yes. Yes, but it is only your qualification. Yes, and that is how they should be in all cases chosen. Yes. Yes.
Even globally, once a president, minister, prime minister